The altcoin market is doing extremely well today, being led by things like Solana, Virtual, ADA, and many more. And many investors are wondering, well, what now? Like, is this the moment where the crypto market starts doing well? Are we finally out of what we've been in? Can we start trading again? Kind of where are we at? And so, to start off the new year, and of course, my second video of the year, I guess, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you all exactly about where we are in the market, what I believe is going on, what I'm looking for next, and what I'm doing as a result of it. And so, with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into it. Now, starting off with CoinMarketCap, as per usual, just to get a lay of the land, one would say, what we can see here is that, yeah, we're seeing a lot of good performance from the top 10. I mean, you go down a little bit and you see things like Solana up 8%, recovered $200, absolutely fantastic. We have Doge up 6%, Cardano up 11%, AVAX 12%, Chainlink 12%. And I mean, some of these ones are underperforming, right? If you look at BNB, for example, this thing is just up not even 1 full percent. I was about to say USDC. We can see a couple of the other ones down here, for example, like Hyperliquid. This one slowed down a little bit, Litecoin slowed down a little bit, but there's some that are just absolutely killing it. If we go to crypto bubbles, you can see that some of these cryptos, especially the ones between that $1 and $2 billion range, are just on fire today. You look at Dexy, $1.19 billion, currently just broken to the top 100. We obviously have good old Fartcoin. What else would you want to see in the crypto market at a $1.34 billion market? We got Algo leading the charge, going up a couple ranks today. Brett going up a couple ranks today. Virtual absolutely pushing through the ranks. Went from top 100 to top 50, now about to break into the top 30, going absolutely nuts. And overall, a very, very strong day for the crypto market. Now, for the very first time in a while, actually, we also can see that the weekly is majoritively bullish as well. What you can see here is obviously we have AI16Z. This is similar to Virtuals, I believe, if Smart Money Crypto. I think Smart Money Crypto told me this was similar to Virtuals protocol. Just haven't had a chance to look at it. We have Virtual, obviously, we have Fartcoin, we have Dexy. But obviously, outside of that, we're even seeing some things like Pepe finally back on the board, pushing up a couple rank spots back in the top 20, which we love to see. Up 20% nearly on the weekly, 6% on the daily, and finally recovering some of those losses on the monthly. Things are starting to look pretty dang on good in the crypto market from the outside, right? Outside in, looking at the crypto market, things are looking pretty dang on good. In addition to that, we're starting to see retail investors starting to kind of pop back up a little bit. If we look at things like Ripple, Solana, and a few more here on the last 30 days, you can start to see a little bit of a spike up in Google Trends as retail investors maybe start planning their New Year's, New Me resolutions, and they start obviously jumping back in and trying to get some momentum going. And so because of that, we see retail jumping back in, leading the altcoin market to do well. Now, CoinMarketCap's Fear and Greed Index is sat at a 51, but if we do look at the one on CoinGlass, it's sat at a 70, and I would actually assume that the 70 is a little bit more accurate. Obviously, there are many different indexes out there, or indices, I guess, so it just depends on what you want to look at. But what I've seen is that historically CoinGlasses just implements more things and more sentiment measures that I believe actually have a better reading. But we can see we are still in that general downtrend over time, lower highs, lower lows. So the crypto fear and greed index has been resetting, but we are still in a spot where I would assume things are still a little bit greedy. Now, overall, as I mentioned before, from the outside looking in, things are looking absolutely fantastic. From a news perspective, not a ton of news. One big piece of news that I did see that I think is actually pretty interesting is the fact that the IRS is now granted temporary relief on crypto tax reporting rules and legal challenges. Now, basically what this was going to do was they were basically trying to implement something, and they're going to implement something called FIFO, which oftentimes leads to higher taxable gains during market upswings. I'm not going to go into the technicals of how it works, but this is something that is not particularly good for the everyday crypto investor, and obviously some of your bigger like crypto exchanges and things like that. And what they decided to do is that they ended up putting in an extension that will last until December 31st of 2025, basically pushing out the rest of this year, which I believe is pretty dang bullish news. Not something that's going to be huge. It's not going to be a huge headline, but it is actually pretty important. In addition to that, I'm trying to think if there was any other news that I saw that I thought was important. Nothing really. I feel like there was one more piece of news, and oh yeah. Obviously everything going on with Elon. I knew there was something else. Elon's obviously been on his whole thing recently, his whole little charade with Pepe and all that stuff. I like Elon, honestly, and maybe I'm one of the few who does, I don't know, but I do like the guy. I do obviously like to see what he's done with just his companies and stuff. It is inspirational to some degree, but what I will say is when he starts getting involved into the world of crypto, it is a warning flag for me. When I see things pumping at the same time Elon's talking about it, it's like almost like a top signal. And so because of that, I am a little bit wary of what we're seeing right now. And so obviously I'm not getting too much FOMO on things like Pepe and obviously some of the meme coins that are associated with all the stuff that he's posting, Kekius, Maximus, and all that good stuff. So overall, I think those are the only two major pieces of news and things that I've seen recently having some effect on the market. But I would say realistically, this is probably just a result of obviously new retail investors coming back a little bit. We're seeing New Year's resolutions. We're seeing the ending of tax loss harvesting. So there's probably a little bit reduced selling pressure on the market as a whole, leading this market upwards into a good spot. So overall, things are looking pretty good from the outside, but when I do peel back the curtain a little bit, I do want to just, it's not particularly a warning, but it is more just telling people just pump the brakes a little bit. You know, I saw a lot of people saying, oh, we're back, this is the moment, crypto is going to go up, yada yada. We're not confirmed yet, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to be on the lookout for us to be confirmed that we're actually back into some sort of bullish upswing. Okay, guys, don't forget though, if you do want to start trading a little bit of crypto today yourself on a platform that's been around for over 13 years, that's getting better every single day, if you sign up with BTCC link down in the description below on this landing page, my affiliate link, you're going to get a 10% bonus on all first time deposits between $500 and $100,000. That means if you deposit, say, $3,000, they're going to give you $300 back on the spot to start trading with, and whatever money you make from that $300 is yours, no strings attached. It's literally an opportunity to make free gains during a bull market. So again, feel free to go check that out. Now, as I mentioned before, when you do start peeling back the curtain a little bit, you have to recognize that although things are great right now, you can't get too far ahead of yourself. And that's what I want to say. And yeah, it's not a warning. It's more of just telling people, hey, pump the brakes a little bit. We're in a good spot. Things are looking good, but pump the brakes a little bit because there are a few things that we still need to see. Now, the majority of what I wanted to say in today's video can actually be broken down into a very simple strategy. That very simple strategy comes down to watching this descending channel on Total 2. If you don't know what Total 2 is the total market cap of the entire altcoin market. And what you can do is you can kind of get a feel for what the majority of cryptos are doing as a result of what this one graph is doing. And so what our chart is doing, and what we're able to see is that this chart is still stuck within this descending wedge. What you can see here is that the total market cap of altcoins is still in a downtrend, a macro downtrend, a descending channel. And yes, I do believe descending channels are the most bullish structures in all of crypto. Why? Because 80 to 90% of the time they will break to the upside. And when you combine the fact that we actually saw total market cap 2 come back down and backtest this golden zone, that's even better. This is a major zone of support and a very bullish channel. So yeah, I do actually think that the altcoin market is going to try to rally out of this thing. When you compare that with the fact that even Bitcoin dominance is somewhat negative today as well after getting rejected off its own golden zone, that's also a good sign that we might see the altcoin market try to make a pretty strong move over the next coming weeks. But you have to be in a spot to where you just got to understand we're still not there yet. Just because we've seen it go from the bottom side of the channel to the top side of the channel doesn't mean now that we're in a guaranteed move upwards. We still easily could get rejected and sent right back down into the green zone, and then we got to restart, and then we got to go from the very beginning again. I mean, one thing you have to consider is that if we go out to liquidation maps on Bitcoin, which is still important, what you can see here is the 1 day and the 7 day have now flipped bearish in the sense that everyone is opening long trades. Everyone expects that this market's going to go up. Everyone's betting that this market's going to go up, and they're betting on huge leverage. So as a result of that, there is a chance now that this market does pull back and that it does come back down to liquidate all of these greedy traders. And if that is the case, it would be very simple. All that looks like is this thing starting to come back down and do something like this, and Bitcoin's price itself doing something like this. Who's to say that can't happen? Very easily could happen. And so if you're an altcoin investor and you're trying to decide whether or not the altcoin market is back, right, and we're in some sort of mini alt season, which is becoming a cliche thing to say, but it's a good explanation, then you need to be watching what's happening here at this descending channel. Now, there are a couple bullish signs that I do have for you, right? If you do look at a couple structural things, obviously you can have what is considered to be this little Adam and Eve pattern that did get invalidated because we did pull back here, but now it's become more of just a macro bullish structure with the breakout zone right around that $1.4 trillion mark. So we are approaching that breakout zone right here, and I can draw a little bit of a horizontal line for you to see where that is. In addition to that, if you go out to the daily MACD, what you can see is that your daily MACD for Total 2 actually looks like it might flip bullish. And the last time that happened actually was, let's go ahead and see, was actually right back here, right before we saw this big pump to the upside. So there are some things going on. Another thing I can show you is your daily Bollinger Bands. What you can see here is we're seeing the crypto market, or the altcoin market at least, trying to break through that 20 simple moving average. And if it does successfully break it, we could open up the door to breaking out of this thing. So yeah, there's a bunch of bullish indicators going off, but we're just not confirming them yet. It's all a bunch of ifs. If we clear this red line, if we clear the 20 SMA, if we get that bullish cross on the MACD, and we're just not there yet. And so yes, although it is okay to be very excited about where we are in the crypto market right now, I don't think it's okay to get too far ahead of yourselves like all of these greedy traders, because we are still at risk of seeing, of course, that more macro pullback. I will tell you that as time has been going on, the outlook of the short term is getting more and more, I'm getting more confident in it. I'm getting a much better feeling. You guys know I was feeling very sketched out about everything that was happening over the last couple weeks. The fact that we were seeing these pullbacks and these consolidation periods and these little fake outs and wicks and all this stuff. But now that we did finally see this market come down and give us a strong fake out here. And the fact that we did see a lot of liquidations to the downside and the upside is making me feel like the opportunity for us to start trying to see some growth again sometime soon could be a little bit in a better position. And so I definitely do feel as if I am getting slowly more and more bullish about the short term, but I'm just not there yet. I'm not convinced that this is over. I'm not convinced that we're going to break out, and quite simply, I won't be until we do. There's no point in speculating, because you do still need to understand we are in a massive zone of liquidations. There is a massive threat of liquidations at any given point, and especially whenever we're seeing the entire altcoin market sitting at a major zone of resistance. We got rejected off of it here and here. We got rejected off this horizontal line here. We've been rejected off the 20 simple moving average more times than I can count. And so at any given point, we might see this fall. And so the last thing to be doing right now is to FOMO. I think the best thing to be doing is to be watching this very closely. Pay attention very, very closely to how we interact with the top side of this descending channel, because this is going to determine whether or not the altcoin market can start making these moves to the upside, or whether or not this is going to just be another rejection and you're going to see a lot of these gains we're making right now eaten up over the couple days. So watch it very closely and do not get too far ahead of yourselves, and make sure that you are prepared for upside or downside. My current strategy is to do nothing still. I've still been doing nothing while we've been seeing Bitcoin in this red box, and I'll probably continue to do that, especially with altcoins right now. My general thesis here is that, well, why would I be buying right now when I have two options? Option number one is I can buy it a little bit higher, start buying some altcoins a little bit higher when we break out of this descending channel, and then of course I have no major zone of resistance right above me, or it's going to get rejected and I can buy a little bit lower when I have more likely of an opportunity to make some gains within the short term. Buying here and buying here is a much better buying opportunity than right here. So personally, I'm just not. I'm sitting back and waiting, very similarly to what I told everyone in the school. Now, to tell you a little bit about what we are doing over the school, I will let you know, because I do reference it a lot and I like to tell you guys every video, we designed a school recently, a crypto school, that's made for three very specific type of people. Beginners, who are looking to figure this whole crypto thing out. Like, imagine you're brand new to the space, you kind of understand what you're looking at, but you don't particularly know what's going on. We made a lot of this for you. The second one are going to be people who are a little bit higher than that, who finally started adding some of these skills, but you just don't know how to turn those skills into strategies. We made a piece of this for you as well. And the last person that we made this for are people who are super advanced. They've been trading, they know what they're doing, they've got this figured out, but they just feel like they've plateaued a little bit and they're trying to take that extra step to up their win ratio just a tiny amount. If you're one of those three people, we recently designed a crypto school for you. It's called Tyler Hill's Crypto Vault. What we do is we take investors like you, we give you courses, coaching, classes, live streams, workshops, signals, research, and Q&As, and we help you use those things to develop strategies, and those strategies to develop gains. And don't just take it from me, guys. We can go over to something like Community Gainers, and I can just scroll through and you can see the gains for yourself. Hundreds of percentages and gains are being printed in this school every single day. Hundreds of percentages. Doesn't matter if it's a good day, doesn't matter if it's a bad day. Red or green day, does not matter. These guys are in here printing gains. Look at this $14,000 gain from our guy, Gustav. Absolute insane stuff. And so if you're somebody who wants to get in on this, if you want access to all these different classes and live streams and all these things, guys, check out that link down below, because the best part about it is if you don't learn anything, we'll give you your money back. And it starts as just as little as $5 a month. There's two options right now, 5 a month, 17 a month. You can feel free to check that out down below. And of course, there's an executive tier, but that's locked for now. And so feel free to check that out. But again, I will be updating all of you members who are now watching this video. I'll be updating you very soon on when I do make a move, whether or not we break to the upside or break to the downside. Be on the lookout for me to post a video later tonight over in the school where I am going to talk about what happens in both of these scenarios and what I am going to be buying. So stay tuned for that. But overall, things are looking good. I honestly, like, it's finally nice to be able to say that truthfully. Like, things are finally looking better. And, you know I've been a little bit like sketched out about the short term. I am still a little sketched out about the short term. I'm not falling for the hype right now because I know we can get liquidated, but I do feel internally that there is some optimism building up. And of course, I'll just be honest and share that with you today. And so I guess we'll just see what happens. I am going to be traveling tomorrow, but I do have some videos planned for you. So make sure you stay tuned for those. If you have been enjoying the content, we've been growing at a rate I've never seen before. So if you could smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new, I would truly appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.